All right, so we're gonna review Uncut Gems. This movie is a fucking blast. A great watch. Adam Sandler is a champion in this movie. Definitely should have got nominated for something. I do think that if you like sports, if you like basketball, if you like gambling, if you like, if you're a greedy individual, you should definitely watch this film. This movie definitely shows a lot about why it's not good to be greedy and just the issues of not being self-sufficient. I do tend to enjoy these stories that have these flawed protagonists, and I do think that the Safdies are really good at presenting characters like this. Now I need to watch their first two films. I believe they're called Daddy Longlegs and Heaven Knows What, and they really do a great job in making you care about these protagonists that you really should not care about. And especially with Good Time, I do think that they do a great job in that as well. Stop running! But that movie is crazy for its own reasons. But this movie definitely, is peak Safdie work, peak Adam Sandler work. I love Adam Sandler. I think that he is definitely one of the greatest to ever do it, acting wise. He has a shit ton of range. A lot of people know him for just comedies, which is fine because he's definitely great comedically when he wants to be, at least. But he's also been in a lot of films that really show his drama side. I'm talking Reign Over Me. I'm talking Punch Drunk Love, which broke my heart the first time I saw it. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, what he does in that movie is crazy too. I think I'll eventually do an Adam Sandler favorites list at some point, but I guess this is a spoiler for that video because this movie will definitely be on it. Uncut Gems is a ride from the minute it starts to the minute it ends. It is a really, really good look into just greed and money and the effects of just what money can do to the psyche and how money can affect your relationships with your loved ones and the people that you love and your relationship with yourself. It just makes me scared to be in debt. I'm not gonna lie, this movie is like a damn anti-debt fucking propaganda. I'm not gonna lie, this movie makes me terrified to be in debt and to have to owe people and have to repay people. And the amount of shit that Howard Ratner, who is Adam Sandler in this film, the shit that he gets himself into in this movie is just really, really insane. It really makes you think a lot about just making sure that you have the proper resources and the proper capabilities to make just so that you don't have to be in these positions of having to owe people these glorious amounts of money. Like, Jesus, I don't play about money. I don't like playing with people's money. I don't like when people play with my money. So just the journey that we go on for this movie is pretty wild. I think one of the biggest lessons of this movie is you just gotta know your role and you gotta learn, and you have to understand how you're coming off to people and the shit that you're doing to others. The amount of karmic resolution that occurs at the end of this film, it's sad, but it's also once you go through everything that happened in the film, it makes sense. Spoilers, I'm gonna put spoilers indication right here. Yeah, the fact that he gets shot in the fucking head at the end of the movie, it makes a lot of sense. But what the movie does so well is it makes you feel like, okay, no, he could actually do this. He could do this. It makes you root for him, even though he's a sleazebag. He's a fucked up guy who plays around. And it's if you met somebody like that in real life, you would not want to be around them at all. So it's how did y'all make me able to really root for this guy? And I think that just goes to show, everybody has their story, everybody has their reasons, everybody has context for why they do what they do, of course. But man, and not only does this movie make you really feel okay, he can actually do this, he actually did it. Of course, you have the whole spiritual side with the Opal and Kevin Garnett and whatnot, but he hit. The bet hit, and he hit a couple times in the movie too. It wasn't just he was just saving it all for one gamble. He hit a couple times, and there's a lot of times where he could have just been I bet, cool, we're good. but he just kept having to dig himself in a deeper hole, and he wasn't gonna stop. And I think the craziest thing about that was that, like, when that final bet hit, you already knew he was gonna put that shit back into something else. Like, you already knew that it was gonna be a cycle of just of greed, a cycle of trauma, a cycle of just games. And I hate that. I hate that he had to die for it, but that's what happens. Like I said, it's just that karmic resolution. But yeah, I remember when I was watching this film for the first time in theaters, and I've had a lot of movies that have had my jaw on the floor. Now, I think a lot of the movies that I'll talk about on this channel are definitely in that realm. But man, when and I wasn't the only one. You know, I think everybody, my friends that I was with when I watched it, and just random strangers in the theater watching it as well, we were all just like, what the fuck? Like, and it wasn't like, it's not just the dramatic, like, oh, the character gets shot and they had their last line, and, you know, they look to the skies, and, you know what I'm saying? Like, he just gets shot in the face, and that's the end of the movie. Like, that shit is pretty insane to me. But I think just the realism, the grittiness of the movie, the way the character is written, and I just wish he would have been able to. I just wish that he would have been able to make it out of that. But I'm glad for the little bit of time that he felt his win. I'm glad he got that little moment to feel that. This movie definitely has a lot to do with basketball as well. That's like literally the main thing that he's betting on. So I figured, like, while these playoffs are going on, this would be a cool time to discuss this film. Great watch. I didn't even go super in depth into why this is a great watch. There's certainly a lot of other channels that do that, and I'm not about to be one of these channels that, you know, talk about a movie and then literally from beginning to end tell you what happens in the movie. Like, I'm just go watch the movie. I'm not gonna say I don't see the point in those type of channels, but this is not one of them. Just go watch this movie. Like I said, if you've watched this movie already, comment what your favorite part is, comment what you love about it, just throw a comment in there about what Uncut Gems did for you, what it meant to you, what it means to you. Is it your favorite film? Is it your least favorite film? Like, let me know. Great watch. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. And until the next one, be safe. Peace. Don't be like Howard Ratner, please.